Hey you, what's up guys? I hope you will understand our live we are talking about positive ELP. So our today's video Olympics is among the chains in information inspection designs to onboard millions peoples and to like people up there millions of people to coffee to rings IPs and OF3s and ending developers easily build and that the platforms and wallet inflation living tokens and combines to win and monetizations and that novel model and reward players and KOL communities and that complications mentioned and models and that the players schools and communities games and that builds and the back and declines notes and defense and the communications the future Olympics and organic gamings and the agents and the tokens and informations novels and the start times 2025 7 5000 in time 2025 18 50 in time at 18 for dedication for the introductions at to the streaking 7 crore 5 lakhs ELP. Money for 21 days and total program total reward 1 crore ELP. Total stake 36 crore ELP 57 to 7,880 and the debt price was only case and 14,080 818 and individuals keyword 14 1,488.09 ELPs APR individuals caps and for most 8 crore ELP 8 crore ELP it was string reward at 2 crore 22 2 crore 50 lakhs ELPs then manufactured 21 days and total reward 1 crore ELPs and total restrict 1192 zeros and duties 47 12 for 10 total particles and for most contributions and the individual reward cap and 1381 ELPs and IPS and 407 individual cap 2000 GTs. Yes, sir. Gate announcement of festivals for listeners and ELP and class launch and for 28 launch of the gate with ELPs and the 20s and 12 swarm most and the capabilities and 24th 2025 AKC's pumps and for light and 12 capabilities and to like and ELPs from most aircraft potencies and to likes and that likes and sport Olympics for most aircraft potencies and sport trading. and the likes and that for communication deposit ELFs and rate is ELFs be a for be a market in HTTPS.com centralized preferences most first one called ELPs are looking to online person get Launchpool early stakings and when you still assist most event companies as well money period and reward distributions and for most system distribution accounts and on the best period the how to participants and education and gifts. Construction and macro stakings 100 million and crop potentials and for award that most crop potentials in education branded and multiple skill based distributions for most about in which led to wins and token model and brings reward players and that fair network defined and fast fastibus and that AIs and fouls and novels and are trusted for impressions evidences applications in applications FES in fixed tokens ELCs and mix supplies in tokens distributions and code for education and more business and application and the communities and the ideas and information legalities in the operations and it like white papers and the applications and publications and for most up guys, I hope you really understand our live we are talking about positive ELP. So our today's video Olympics is among the chains in information inspection designs to onboard millions people and to like people up there millions of people to coffee to rings IPs and OF3s and ending developers easily build and that the platforms and wallet inflation living tokens and combines play to win and monetizations and that novel model and reward players and KOL communities and that configurations mentions and models and that the players scores and communities games and that builds and the back and declines notes and defense and the communications the future Olympics and are connected gamings and the agents and the tokens and informations novels and the start times 2025 7 5000 in time 2025 18 50 in time at 18 for dedication for the introductions at product streaking 7 crore 5 lakhs ELP money for 21 days and total program total reward 1 crore ELP. Total stake total stake 36 crore ELP 57 to 7,880 and the debt price was only case and 14,080 818 and individuals keyword 14 1,488.09 ELPs APR individuals caps and for most 8 crore ELP 8 crore ELP it was taking reward at 2 crore 22 2 crore 50 lakhs ELPs then manufactured 21 days and total reward 1 crore ELPs and total restrict 1192 zeros and duties 47 for 10 total particles and for most distributions and the individual reward to pay 1338 for ELPs and IPS and 4007 in the circle 2000 GTs. Yes, sir. Gate announcement of festivals for listeners and ELP and class launch and for 28 launch at the gate with ELPs and the tradings and 12 swarm most and capabilities and 24 2025 UKC sperms and for light and 12 5. Capitals and to like and ELPs from most aircraft potencies and to likes and that likes and sport Olympics for most aircraft potencies and sport trading. And the likes and that for communication deposit ELFs and rate is ELFs be a for be a market in com central likes preferences most first one called ELPs are looking to online person get launched for early stakings and when you still assist most bank companies as one money period and reward distributions and for most system distribution accounts on the best and failure the how to participants and education and gifts. Undrafam and the room macro stakings 100 million and cry potentials and for award that most cry potentials in education branded and multiple skill based distributions for most about in which led to wins and token model and brings reward players and that fair network defined. And festivals and that AIs and false novels and are trusted for impressions, evidences, applications, implications, FES, fixed tokens, ELPs, and supplies in tokens distributions and code financing. Education and more business and publication and the communities and the ideas and information legalities and the operations and it like white papers and the implications and publications and for most up guys, I hope you really understand our live we are talking about positive ELP. So our today's video Olympics is among the chains in information inspection designs to onboard millions people and to like people up there millions of people to coffee to rings IPs and OF3s and ending developers easily build and that The platforms and wallet inflation living tokens and combines play to win and monetizations and that novel model and reward players and KOL communities and that configurations mentioned and models and that the players schools and communities games and that builds and the back and declines notes and defense and the communications the future Olympics and organic gamings and the argents and the tokens and progressions novels and the start times 2025 7 5000 in time 2025 18 50 in time at 18 for dedication for the introductions at product streakings 7 crore 5 lakhs ELP. Money for 21 days and total program total reward 1 crore ELP. Gamings and the argents and the tokens and progressions novels and the start times 2025 7 5000 in time 2025 18 50 in time at 18 for dedication for the introductions at product streaking 7 crore 5 lakhs ELP. Money for 21 days and total program total reward 1 crore ELP. Total stake 36 crore ELP 57 to 7,880 and the debt price was only case and 14,080 818 and individuals 50 at 14 1,488.09 ELPs APR individuals caps and for most 8 crore ELP 8 crore ELP interesting reward at 2 crore 22 2 crore 50 lakhs ELPs then mining fee 21 days and total reward 1 crore ELPs and total restrict 1192 zeros and duties 47 12 for 10 total particles and for most contributions and the individual reward cap and 138 for an ELPs and IFS and 407 for individual cap 2000 GTs. Yes, sir. Gate announcement of fast US for listeners and ELP and glass launch and for 28 launch at the gate with ELPs and the tradings and 12 swarm most and the break opportunities and 24th 2025 ATCs pumps and for light and 12 to 5. And to like and ELPs from most aircraft potencies and to likes and that likes and sport Olympics for most aircraft potencies and spot trading. And the lies and that for communication deposit ELFs and rate is ELFs be a for be a market in HTTPS.com centralized preferences most first one called ELPs are looking rules on that person get launched for early stakings and when you still assist most event companies as on money period and reward distributions and for most system distribution accounts on the best period the how to participants and notifications and indicators. Instruction and macro stakings 100 million and potentials and for what that most potentials in predictions branded and multiple skill based distributions for most about in which led to wins and token model and place reward players and that fair network defined and festivals and that AIs and fouls and novels and the trusted for impressions evidences applications in applications FPS fixed tokens ELPs and suffers in tokens distribution and code for the education and more business and application and the communities and the ideas and information legalities in the operations and like white papers and the applications and publications and for most up guys, I hope you will understand our live we are talking about project review ELP. So our today's video Olympics is among the chains in information inspection designs to onboard millions people and to like people up there millions of people to coffee to rings IPs and OF3s and ending developers easily build and that the platforms and wallet inflation living tokens and combines play to win and monetizations and that novel model and reward players and KOL communities and that configurations mentioned and models and that the players scores and communities games and that builds and the back and declines notes and defense and the communications the future Olympics and are connected gamings and the agents and the tokens and progressions novels and the start times 2025 7 5000 in 10 2025 18 50 this time at 18 for dedication for the introductions at total streakings 1 days and total program total reward 1 crore EL fees. Total stake 36 crore ELCs and 47 to 7,880 and the debt price was only case and 14,080 818 and individuals 50 at 14 1,488.09 ELCs APR individuals caps and for most 8 crore ELP 8 crore ELC interesting reward had 2 crore 22 2 crore 50 lakhs ELCs and mining fee 21 days and total reward 1 crore ELCs and total restrict 1192 zeros and 55 12,410 total particles and for most contributions and the individual reward cube and 138 for ELPs and IPS and 407 in the circle 2000 GTs. Yes, Gate announcement of festivals for listeners and ELP and class launch and for 28 launch at the gate with ELPs and the tradings and 12 swarm most and capabilities and 24 2025 ATCs perms and for light and 12 25. And to like and ELPs from most aircraft potencies and to likes and that liked in sport Olympics for most aircraft potencies and sport trading. And the likes and that for communication deposit ELFs and rate is ELFs be a for be a market in com central likes preferences most first one ELPs are looking improve online person get launched for early takings and when you still assist most event companies as on money period and reward distributions and for most system distribution accounts on the best and period the how to participants and education and incentives. Instruction and macro stakings 100 million and potentials and for award that most potentials in education branded and multiple skill based distributions for most about in which led to wins and token model and place reward players and that fair network defined. And festivals and that AIs and fouls and novels and were drafted for impressions, evidences, applications, implications, FES, fixed tokens, ELPs, and mix supplies in tokens distributions and cost financing education and more business and application and the communities and work the ideas and information legalities and the operations and it like white papers and the applications and publications and for most up guys, I hope you really understand our live we are talking about project review ELP. distribution based Launchpool FAQs and the trade participants for most competency. Mas assim, vamos look na categoria da solo. Eu vou ver da live coach. Yes, it's in right. It's Italian. I'm putting Russian combat and acid values for most training competencies for most intributional and the competencies for like and the applications and the applications gap. Program building nodes and launch for tracking across platforms and users taking GTs and BTC GTs and from competencies algorithm. And participant contributors and the platforms and the implications and participants are interest. Please follow the assembly rewards events for most competencies. And to light and applications for most that likes and that assemblies and that decolonized interactions and that the founder CEO Cinco Gulf and Fuse is in mathematics even with Thomas and Brett at Fields for make player product and Cinco bring an application experience wide date and 61 and make applications and universities and protocols stabilities. When for the investment JK as an introspection in and the technical overviews and JK and JK version program JK snake compatibility declamations and applications and that provide and that structured proof of that cost of the specials overrated and tokens separations and the investors and justice tools and that strips and that investigations and ecosystems and that province mining airdrops and that Dick schools and team and the JKSN marketing exchange and liquidity project highlights and that applications and then the slower and significantly lower of most separator potencies and that ecosystem and less than the provide and the stickers and the service and our chickens and inventions and the likes and corporations 12 months and the basics and applications and for like and the potentials and that the most applications and justice and ecosystems and foundations to get GTGs and that month and that like providing mining then airdrops 2.5% index schools and for teams, 10% vacations, half operating strategies and marketing 5%, and exchange liquidity for the that duplicate lesson combines and duplications and for most application versions and for in applications the launch code and the floor lawyer and the Jacob product and applications that experience and for most applications the like allowance and the exchange and the final bright declarations and accepted youth at deliberation. Hey, what's up, guys? I hope you really will start live. We are talking about project review JKSM. So, start out to live to I drop 25,000 lakhs JKSM participants 15.45 cartridges 0.5 tutors WhatsApp and press digits within the individual's participant calendar. Lead reactors will receive and further introduction, verifications and developments behind the question in source of the generation. Build assembly then was sent in events that verifications of the option of the back and such application segregation is the fabrication check is this or tweetless with this application Syncas Gauss and segment development and until 15 full times and ingrained and that in zero knowledge proofs or assemblies and that and interactions and that the founder CEO Cinco Gulf and Fuse is in mathematics even with Thomas and Brett at Fuse for appreciates and that likes overviews for most separating application experience wide date and system and metrification and universities and protocols strict regulated and that and the implications and the significance unlike financial figures and for most implications by federation the address communications streams and conditionals get launchable and the 28 projects and that by multiplying the MBGs, MTH and for most competencies and like for most incompetencies in dislikes and the competencies for most appeared in the ecosystems and that likes candidate data application tables for most and the likes MBGs unlock method and that likes and then applications for most appeared in the competencies for most tokens for light and that innocent उसको फायदे अंदर and immediately soon mining and begins for most incompetencies and like initial for most increasing for the likes and the competencies and ecosystems and the text হানিগুলো খাওয়া ক্লিয়ার লেগে আমি সিলে বলতো distribution based launch to life views and the trade participants for most competencies ma lo sono voluto una casa di guidare solo dopo poi ad letto yes entri e tu cari one percent reduction combat and acid values from most burning competencies for most institutional and the competencies for like and the applications and the applications gap program building nodes and launch for streaming across platforms and users taking GTs and BTC GTs and from competencies algorithm and participant contributors and the platforms and the implications and participants are interest please follow the assembly rewards events for most competencies and to light and applications for most that likes and that English version civil and for most capitals and inlines concrete is but an right expression and even opposites and Apple INCs and that I'm living unit kingdom. Price even cannot access and service participants and their agreements for failures of the license and applications location. Technologia. Technologia. An agreement for most aircraft potencies. So that's their locations and then the enhance This warning and generated from the with Intel cells and for most competencies and then the capabilities and that capacities and for the photo for more apparent capabilities. The operation and operating technicals and that competencies and that like and applications and that likes and that applications and that like applications for most apparent impression and that applications and tutors and techniques and photos and that likes and applications. The season token get teams and the July 2025 and get times and the and July 2025. Creator laboratories in data about it doesn't. 5 years calculated simply applications and get. and applications and the jewels and whatever commissions and the just stay connected and solution applications website and then download from and bound bonuses and the top assemblies and then decolonized introductions and that the founder CEO Cinco Gulf and Fuse is in mathematics event with Thomas and Red Hat Fields of work make bigger project and Cinco bring an application experience wide date and system and make applications and universities and protocols strictly regulated. When for the environment, they gave the introspection in and the technical overviews and JK and JK version program JK snake compatible solution declamations and applications and that provide and that studied proof of that cost of the specials overrated and tokens separations and the inventors and justice tools and that strips and that investigations and ecosystems and that province mining airdrops and that Dick schools and team and the JKSN marketing exchange and liquidity project highlights and that applications and then the slower significantly lower of most apparatus potencies and that negotiations and less than the provide and the stickers and the transfers and our chickens and inventions and the likes and corporations 12 months and the basics and applications and for like and the potentials and that the most applications and justice and ecosystems and foundations to get GTGs and that month and that like providing mining then airdrops 2.5% index schools and for teams 10% vacations, half operating strategies and marketing 5% and exchange liquidity for the that duplicate lesson combines and duplications and for most application versions and for in applications the Launchpool and the flow lawyer and the Jacob product and applications that students and for most applications the like allowance and the exchange and the final bright declarations and accepted youth at deliberation. Hey, what's up, guys? I hope you really will start live. We are talking about project review JKSM. So, start out today's live tutorial at drop 25,000 lakhs JKSM participants 15.45 cartridges 0.5 tutors WhatsApp and increase digits within the individual's participant calendar. Lead reactors will receive and further introduction, verifications and developments behind the existing in source of the generation. Build assembly then was sent in universe that verifications of the obtain of the back and such applications segregation is the fabrication jacket is this or tootless with this application Sincas Gauss and segment development and until 15 full times and ingrained and that in zero knowledge proof or assemblies and that and interactions and that the founder CEO Cinco Gulf and Fuse is in mathematics event with Thomas and Red Hat Fields of work appreciates and that likes overviews from separating competencies application experience wide date and system and applications and universities and protocols strictly regulated and that the applications and the significance like financial figures and for most infractions by federation the address congregations streams and conditionals get launchable and 28 projects and that by multiplying the MBGs MTH and for most competencies and like for most incompetencies and dislikes and the competencies for most appeared in the ecosystems and that like standard data application tables for most and like MBG's unlock method and that likes and then applications for most appeared in the cryptocurrencies for most tokens for light and that innocent उसको खाइते हैं अंदर and immediately soon mining and begins for most in cryptocurrencies and like initial for most increasing for the likes and the cryptocurrencies and ecosystems and the text হানিগুলো খাওয়া ক্লিয়ার লেগে আমি সিলে বলতো distribution based launch executes and the trade participants for most cryptocurrencies ভালো শুনলাম বলবো তুমি একটা ছেলে গুলো এরা সরল যাও বলবো এদের লাইভ করছে ঠিক আছে ইনভাইট কিছু দাঁড়িয়ে one percent introduction combines and acid values from most neighboring provinces for most contributional and the cryptocurrencies for like and the applications and the applications gap program building nodes and launch for streaming across platforms and users taking GTs and BTC GTs and for most capitals algorithm and participant contributors and the platforms and the implications and participants are interest please follow the assembly rewards events for most capitals and to light implications for most that likes and that English version civil and for most capitals and inlines concrete is but an right expression and even officials and Apple agencies and their unknown unit cannot price even cannot access and service participants and their agreements for failures of their license applications location technologia technologia and agreement for most important potencies. So that's their locations and then the enhance confident person JK introspection in and the technical overviews on JK something JK version program JK snake compatibility declamations and applications and that provide and that distributed proof of that cost of the specials overrated and tokens separations and the inventors and justice fuels and that strips and that investigations and ecosystemers and that province mining airdrops and that Dick schools and team and the JKSN marketing exchange and liquidity for the highlights and that applications and then the slogan significantly lower of most American potencies and that negotiations and less than the provide and the stickers and the service and our chickens and inventions and the likes and corporations 12 months and the basics and applications and for like and the potentials and that the most applications and just and ecosystems and foundations to get GTGs and that month and that like providing mining then drops 2.5% index schools and for teams, 10% vacations, half operating strategies and marketing 5%, and exchange liquidity for the that duplicated lesson combines and duplicated and for most effective versions and for more. In applications, the Launchpool and the Explore Lawyer and the Jacob product and applications that students and for most applications, the like allowance and the exchange and the final bright declarations and accepted youth at deliberation. Hey, you what's up, guys? I hope you really will start live. We are talking about project review JKSM. So, start out today's live tutorial and drop 25,000 lakhs JKSM participants 15.45 cartridges 0.5 tutors WhatsApp and press digits within the individual's participant calendar. Lead reactors will receive and further interruption, notifications, and developments behind the existence in source of the generation. Build assembly then was sent in events that verifications of the option of the back and such application segregation is the fabrication check is this or tootless with this application Syncas Gauss and segment development and until 15 full times and ingrained and that in zero knowledge proofs or assemblies and that and interactions and that the founder CEO Cinco Gulf and physics and mathematics event with Thomas and Brett at fields for appreciates and that likes overviews for most separate application experience wide date and system and application and universities and protocols strictly segregated and that the applications and the significance like financial figures and for most implications by federation the address communications streams and conditionals get launchable and 28 projects and that by multiplying the MBGs MTH and for most competencies and like for most incompetencies and dislikes and the competencies for most appear in the ecosystems and that likes candidate data application tables for most and the likes MBGs unlock method and that likes and then applications for most appear in the competencies for most tokens for light and that the innocent to fight the and immediately soon mining and begins for most incompetencies and the like initial for most increasing for the likes and the competencies and ecosystems and the text হানিগুলো ভালো আছে ক্লিয়ার লাগে আমি সিলে বলতো distribution based launch to execute and the trade participants for most incompetencies ma lo sono campo lo una caccia di così da solo io puoi vedere la ecco che se entri che tu cari one put in Russian combat and acid values from most competencies for most contributional and the competencies for like and the applications and the applications gap program building nodes and launch for tracking across platforms and users taking GTs and BTC GTs and for most competencies algorithm and participants contributors and the platforms and the implications and participants are interest please follow the assembly rewards events for most competencies and to light and applications for most that likes and that the English version civil and for most capitals and inlines concrete is but an alternate expression and even officials and Apple agencies and their unknown unit cannot price even cannot access and service participants and their agreements for failures of the license and applications location tecnologia tecnologia and experiment for most repertoire potencies. So that's their applications and then the enhance risk warning and generated from the with Intel cells and for most competencies and then the capabilities and for the photo for more apparent capabilities. The operation and operating technicals and that capabilities and that like and applications and that likes and that applications and that like applications for most apparent impression and the data applications and tutors and techniques and process and that likes and the season to get teams and the 2025 and get times and the and to the 2025. Get to have data about it doesn't. 5 years calculated simply down applications and get and applications and the jewels and portable permissions and the just connected solution applications website and then download from unbound bonuses and the topics and the likes and the represent global interest and supply security 100 fruitness 100 fruitness. That candidates and fat trick applications and the light and implications and that likes and that ambitious multis and ambitious straight embedded fan finds and that 1 8 18,007 images and text and creations and to light and expressions and the classic business and the like hypothesis for most apparent that implications and one and quarter 87 slabs and images with and maximums for most and hypothesis and that like possible fastest for tradings and 5,000 images and 5,000 and the likes and hypothesis and for images and from most apparent hypothesis and that likes amount the paragraphs for most apparent hypothesis for motion applications and lights and maximum that empty and basis and the explications price and false of inferior for motion hypothesis and that lights and that OTC and then first trading spot rules and that the user 2200 and users will and can design from most applications and applications and like for most hypothesis applications and that likes 100 applications is for trading stores and the trading and applications and the like with other hypotheses we share 300 applications and the light and for most applications and that likes this application Liza বাইরে পানি খাওয়া আছে applications and like the applications and the ecosystem and the applications and like the processing applications and the likes and the capitals and applications and the most follows and the pages tradings and volumes and the 5,000 USD to one candies and the 70 candies and the 10,000 candies and very different of price during the applications successful and benches and the right and applications and likes and applications for most complete application then can is all the price was and 50,000 MPs and maximum dividends at 100 frequencies. First was not to quality in the previous and that application and link data and complete thousands QGs and scored MPs and people and in others. MPs from most applications and like some applications and product applications for as events and for the introduction and pages and events to compare global and financial events and then with the pages and billions to 29 billion and billions and for most applications and like exchange and wood and the websites to and video official website application and noise applications and the class notes and the participants and most applications join us battles and successful journings and events and the applications and applications yours and the rewards and distributions that light and reward applications with afford in applications and the tables and the test applications and pro applications. Applications are the honey cover. Applications are to cover and markets applications and the like articles and the table conversations in any case. करने हिंदी नहीं कोई Yes. Application that defines application and write events and from most applications that are like that's everything. ये music. And to understand applications that including and from most applications but the sentence place and the radius is the second. These applications and the like same for competence pattern for most apparent confidence and for actions and the tricks Freight hours and applications and classification and business and Julius expression carry the hypothesis and data was and private substances. Sepically and the sound carry and hypothesis a big moose. Afuno, you must look after something. Application specification and the trace and they will come to S from applications and that most appearing hypotheticals and do like expressions and for most and to license applications and that trend in between for device commercial and stay connected and the website and the website and the desktops and for more bonuses and to more applications and for basics and applications and set and securities and check 100% receivers. Nasser features and the chain multi bank and that Mr. Nasser Tahir. Nasser 36 around credit and financial commercial transactions worldwide and that multi-banks and for most apparent hypotheses and list applications for most apparent hypotheses and the Chinese for most apparent likes and for the Asia stocks and to like and hypotheses for most in thus increasing for the Chinese banking and applications. The recognized and listed traders and for most financial assist by the application and like receive on regulations and that